Hello and welcome to Piano Shack with me, Woody. In today's video then, I'll give it my best shot to do some performances using Electric Mint, which I think is Native Instruments' best guitar plugin to date, but I'll play it as best as I can. It's a little bit tricky to get your playing in sync with the arpeggiators, phrases and patterns and so on, but I'll play it for you so you can judge for yourselves. I'll also give you a walkthrough of the plugin and show you some of the features. What a beautiful sound. I just wanted to share a little bit of information with you about the plugin here as we go along. The first thing to note is that there are two versions of Electric Mint. You get both when you buy it. There's a version that I'm demonstrating today, which is the default one, just called Electric Mint, that plays pre-programmed patterns and phrases according to the chords that you're playing here on the keyboard. So it's a little bit like an arrangement, a real-time arranger. It follows along with what you're doing on the keyboard and gives you a guitar accompaniment. Very cool. The other version that you need to be aware of is just called Electric Mint Melody, and that one allows you to play freely across the keyboard. I'll save that demonstration for another day because that's actually quite uncanny, playing a keyboard instrument and hearing the sounds of a Fender Strat. But today we'll just focus on these patterns and phrases. Now, an important part of the plugin is choosing the different patterns, and you do that using key switches. You'll see me as I'm pressing the notes here, the four notes at the bottom of the keyboard. I'm selecting different phrases or patterns here. Let's have a listen. So that's really good to know as you're auditioning these patterns yourself. Do remember to use the key switches down at the bottom here, starting on C. Let's carry on the theme of pop hits played with unusual guitar backings. Anybody recognize these chords? We do have a few performance controls available to us as well. Perhaps the most important one is called Impact, that adjusts the dynamics of the player. And you control that using, a little bit awkwardly, the pitch bend wheel, because I say awkwardly because it always springs back to the center position. But if we drag it all the way down, soft playing, that's in the middle, and then all the way up you can hear as the player is strumming a little bit harder. Then we can also add vibrato. Which sounds a bit weird on this chordal thing. Yeah. Just a fun, good old surf tune here coming up. Here's a funky groove that you might recognize the chords to. Yeah, I did play it a little bit wrong, but maybe you recognize that. Let me know in the comments. Another thing I've been thinking about as I've been doing the demonstration today is that perhaps this instrument is more suitable for sequencing rather than playing it live like I'm attempting to do today with varying degrees of success. Of course, if you were to sequence this, program it into your DAW, you could have curves, programming curves for the pitch bend mod wheel, and also get the changes of the chords perfectly in time with the arpeggiator as well. I believe maybe it's possible here. It is on many NI plugins. You can even drag and drop the MIDI, if this thing is even using MIDI, into the sequencer. But that's something that you can check yourselves if you're interested. Here's an example of some phrases then. Straight away, we have some new phrases. What do we have going on here? Oh, yeah. Okay, just the first one is a phrase. One of the most important controls or settings you need to be aware of is this one here, where we can adjust between various settings. You can choose pre-programmed voicings that are suitable for this style, perhaps as they might be played by a real guitarist, which works well in a lot of cases and probably gives you the most authentic results. But I like to go down and actually switch that off for many of the tunes I've been playing today, where I want to have my own voicings, exactly how I play them on the keyboard. So you can do things like as a minor, sus2, sus4, or even the extensions as well. Let's do some fancy C7 chord. Just like that. So that's a very good setting to be aware of. I find myself adjusting it all the time. At any time, we can change the sounds that are being playing. If we like the pattern but just want to change the sounds, then we can go in here. You can see a whole bunch of them configured here and ready for you to use. You can of course tweak them to your heart's content as well. Just an example there, and the effects in the background are the very best that Native Instruments have to offer from all of their various effects plugins, and Guitar Rig is basically built into this, I think, as well. So I've got a few more interesting phrases for you here. Yeah, could totally build a song around that, I think, or some nice beat. Getting some Foo Fighter vibes from that one. I don't know about you, but you can tweak the guitar settings if you want. Just go in here on this tab. For example, you can change the tone controls that you would get on the real guitar. Let's try and change the pickups, see what happens. So just an example, what you can do there, you can see for yourselves the other settings. I won't delve into each and every one today. If you want to play around with the amps and effects, again, we won't go into it in detail here, but you can see here you've got various amp models, cabinet models, and various controls that you can play around with as well. Let me click around here. Again, I won't go into them all because we'd be here all day, and you can drag, drop these around, choose different effects pedals and so on. Yeah, the sky's the limit. The last tab I should show you is the playback settings here that I haven't really fiddled around with. I'm just using the default values here and they're working pretty well for me, but I just wanted to show you the tab in case you were curious. And we have a very nice song browser here that you can open. You've got, of course, all the different tabs with various tags, tabs with tags to filter the sounds, the songs, the patterns that you're looking on. Yes, Native Instruments give you a load of presets. They call them songs, which contains appropriate sounds and patterns that are matched together, but you can mix and match yourself, of course. Yep, nice one. And I forgot to mention it earlier, but it's pretty important if you don't know this. Electric mint is referring to the color of this particular guitar. They're not allowed to call it by its real name, but if you're into guitars, or probably even not, because it's such an iconic instrument, this is a vintage looking Fender Stratocaster guitar. Yeah, very pretty. Maybe you recognize those chords, but I did want to play that one to you just because of the beautiful reverb. I think you'll find that you can use these guitar sounds in all sorts of different contexts, not just your typical guitar songs. So I hope you enjoyed the demos and the performances. Yes, it is a little bit tricky to play some of these. It takes a bit of practice, and perhaps the intention is more to sequence these in your DAW than to play them like I was attempting to do in real time. But when you get it right, it sounds pretty amazing. I hope you agree, and it's certainly a lot of fun as well. I'll see you again next time. Cheerio.